Hey everybody. Sorry, I was taking a sip of my drink. This is Breaking the Cage for April 28th through May 4th. Breaking the Cage Astrology TV, and I am Michelle Espinosa, or as Matt likes to call me, Shaman. Otherwise, you may know me as the name of Bells. Many people, I go through many different names. Before we get into this week, though, I want to reiterate and put out there again for all of you spiritual decoys out there who are trying to, hit up our people and force them into readings and so forth along that line. Right down there below says, if you're a scammer, spamming, and so forth, you will be blocked automatically as soon as we notice you are doing it. So do it at your own peril. With that being said, for me specifically, I never usually come out and say that, I do the readings, or because I don't really do readings. I do, but it's more of along the line of mentoring. But if you're interested or just need assistance in some way, you can find all of my information in the information box below. But with that being said, this is a little bit of an oxymoron week. It's a little bit of an oxymoron week because I'm sorry, I'm laughing at what Spirit's giving me, but it really truly is, because this is a little bit of, there's a lot going on this week. You have Mars, which is entering back into Aries, so it's going back into its home sign, and it's going to be here. It moves in on the 30th and it stays until June. You have Venus, which is going back into Taurus, and it's home sign, but it's only going to be here for like a month. It's going to move out on May 23rd. Plus you have Pluto, which is going retrograde on the 2nd of May. And it will stay in Aquarius until, I believe, September 1st. Then it enters back into Capricorn. This is like a moment of rejuvenating depth. Slow down. Slow down and rejuvenate. Try to enjoy the sweeter things. Don't be so involved in the negatives or the harsh three-dimensional things. But this is why I say it's an oxymoron week, because it's kind of slow down and start getting into that rejuvenation, into breathing into the soul, happierness. But at the same time, it's go time. And so this means while you're no decision is a decision. So this isn't a time to slow down and do nothing. This is still a time to take charge and move forward, be direct, but don't get lost in everything that's going on outside of you. You've really got to stay genuine to what's going on inside of you. And they are giving me some brain fog for a lot of people. Okay, they're giving me brain fog. Well, that makes sense with what I just said. Brain fog with getting a little too connected with the three-dimensional world and what's outside of you, and taking care of those materialistic aspects. And being more three-dimensional, materialistic than soulful. And I'm also getting a lot of that brain fog within what I call that supernatural highway of I coulda, shoulda, woulda. Well, what if I did this? Maybe I should have done that. I could have, if I done it, that stuff will drive you mad. And that also enters into the zeal point of lowering that vibrational aspect and letting more negative energy in. Remember, with Venus moving in to Venus, this is upping up the manifestation. But it could be a good thing, because you still have Jupiter here. You still have Uranus here, but Uranus isn't exactly in its most comfortable place here. Jupiter is now past Uranus, but Venus is in its home sign. So this is giving us a little bit more of not just wanting to value ourselves, but value in life itself. And it also gives us a little bit more of an edge in charming our way around things. Because, like I said, Venus rules Taurus, but it is also a manifestation house. It is a possession house. In both cases, it's a possession house as far as coming into your self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, not being naive, not being taken advantage of, knowing thyself, or knowing where you don't know thyself and learning of it. They are saying a lot of this is going to also project in your relationship energies. Personal judgment versus exterior judgment. Which is dealing with that material aspect of things. And they're making my head heavy. So that's not just brain fog, that's feeling heavy. So they're warning you to stay out of that energy, but to still take action, because like I said, Mars is moving into Aries, and it is definitely Mars is coming into his inner warrior, his inner SWAT team energy, his inner take charge energy. But I also say Mars is a lot like the sacral chakra, and I call him the inner belly dancer as well, because you can't go out and have confidence if you don't have confidence from within. And this is why I call him the inner belly dancer. I'm like, you could be the biggest, fattest sumo wrestler, but if you're out there feeling good about yourself, then good. You can't take that charge and move forward into that SWAT team energy when there's not confidence. So this is rechecking some of that. But the key here is Pluto is going retrograde. Pluto is death, decay, and destruction for renewal, regeneration. And in Aquarius, this is us starting to look into the energy of that water bearer and what we pour into the consciousness. This isn't just the consciousness of the reality we're wanting to create, but looking into it from a bigger, more broader aspect of universally, earthly, not just the realities we want for ourselves, but what can we advance in? What can we pour into the consciousness itself? What can we give back? Because it has a lot to do with humanity, but it's making its way slowly back to Capricorn, back to that cold energy. Capricorn is known, and I'm saying that because you're also starting off the week with the moon in Capricorn. Capricorn is known to be the coldest of the energies. It's the outer world. It's the authority of the outer world and the rules, the boundaries that go with that. And like I said, the authority. And it's very grounded, very cold, very, and this is what you get. And we're looking at making changes of where we haven't stepped into our soul fires, our soul spirits, while we were caught in that 300 years, of that energy, and where we were caught in, the age of Pisces, and what we're trying to break. But that energy is moving back. Now, again, this is a bit of an oxymoron week, because I'm being given a whole hell of a lot of like the Hunger Games, like the game makers. And that's important because, like I said, you have Pluto slowly going back to where it's going to go back into Capricorn. And this is saying the game makers, the elites, the outer society, they watch these things. They know the astrology, and they know how this works. So this is them looking at how can we we're already losing a lot of our energy and a lot of our harnessing ability over the population. So they're going to be looking at going into that September energy where they can pull some of their last cards out. How can the game makers keep you in the game? But at the same time, that's going towards that September energy and making sure that we're not falling for it. Really? Do you agree, Mr. Neptune? You heard my cat. I can't make this shit up. This is about us truly coming into our sovereign depths of our soul fire and breathing it into reality. Like I said, there's something going on out there that they're going to be planning. But we have to stay ahead of that. We have to come into our depths of ourself. And again, as we're moving into this energy this week and how this is shifting, it is a rejuvenating time, but we have to remember we can't just sit back and do nothing and try to do that meditation and inner work and everything will wait. No, it won't wait. Making no decision is a decision. So it is still time for action. I'm getting the little wiener dog. I can't remember the name of the little wiener dog, but the little wiener dog. And that is speaking to us also of being flexible and detaching from the outcome so that we are able to see things from a different angle. And Spirit is saying with that little wiener dog, don't forget whatever it is that's coming or that they're planning to pull next, those game makers. You are a master of getting out of sticky situations. You are a master of it because you are the most powerful vibration of creation. You are the creator. You have that spark in you. So therefore, you are a master of getting out of these sticky situations over and over and over again. You've got to detach from the outcome, detach from the way you think it should be. Be more flexible and be willing to see things from a different angle and put some lightheaded energy in it. That's why I said they're giving me that heavy head. If we're in that heavy head, we're getting caught in the dupeness of that game, of what they're going to be coming into. And like I said, this is they're preparing on that level for something. That's all I can say. And they're hoping that when that Pluto goes back into Capricorn, it will be a help for them. And we have to be in the right space. So as we hit the later part of this year, we're not having it. All right. With that being said, let me get into the blueprint for this week. And there's not much different other than you have Mars moving into Aries. Mercury is now in Aries. You have Venus, which is until what? Until the 29th, so no time at all. Venus is moving into Taurus. But you have Mars, Mercury, North Node, Chiron, and Eris, which are all still in Aries. This is your head. Eris is the apple of discord. Don't forget that. The apple of discord trying to get in your head and cause trouble. I often call her Medusa, even though it's not the same. Medusa does not like me using it that way. But it's when we hold on to, well, I can't change because of that. I can't change because of this. This is beliefs. This is our belief system. And you've got to remember, for every time we're trying to change something, we're learning where our belief system fails us. Detach from the belief system and be open-minded to growth. Be open-minded to seeing things from different perspectives. Remember, a lot of this energy is the brain, but it is also the frontal lobe at this time, where how we're looking and feeling emotionally, connecting to what is going on outside of us. Mercury just came out of retrograde. It is still in shadow. So this is about not letting that harder, heavier energy become a sinkhole, actually, but proving to ourselves that we are ultimately vibrationally strong and above that, so that we can disconnect and recreate. Every thought is a thought of creation, which ultimately is a thought of manifestation. So we have to control our thoughts and our emotions and be aware when we're in that freight train that we're sometimes you just got to take that break. Now you have that Venus, which is moving into Taurus, which is a good thing, but this is also speaking about communication, speaking about charming the situation to work for you. It is about the zeal point also being more sensitive, because that throat chakra, the opposite side, is the back of the neck. And you're looking at it also being on this right here, which deals with swallowing and choking, as well as your teeth. And every one of your teeth also connect with every one of your chakras and every one of your organs. People overlook that. So this is really getting into alignment, or where you're out of alignment with your soul energy, with your aura energy. And where will you allow that Venus energy while it comes in to take us? Venus should be making us feel more comfortable, but it is sensitivity itself. So depending on how you feel deep down, truly about you, a lot of that is going to be showing itself, as well as airing itself to the world. So this is a healing moment, but not a moment to stay hibernated, not a moment to be a hermit. This is a moment that we are reflecting while in motion. You have Vista, which is still in the chest energy. It's still in the chest in here. Virgo is literally got Lilith on the spine and then Juno on the colon. So this is ultimately, like I said, all of our chakras connecting to where we are in balance or where we are out of balance. And what kind of signals is our brain sending to all of these chakras, as in unblocking and bringing true healing energy, versus, like I said, Juno, sacrificing commitment, about removing the waste that we do not want anymore, getting it out of our system. So, and then everything else moves into those lower chakras of consciousness, getting into where we're still holding on to that Piscean energy instead of the water bearer energy, and bringing and pouring back into the consciousness for the higher perspective of us as a unit, as unity, as one, instead of individual. This isn't about us rising individually. It is, of course, we want to see the individual rising of our own lives and be more healthy and more of what we truly would desire to prefer in our life. But this is also, as a society, as humanity, where we want to take it. What are we pouring back in? And how are we pouring it back in? So, like I said, a little bit of an oxymoron week. You have Capricorn. The moon is in Capricorn at first, and it is not getting along with Mars and Neptune, as Mars crosses over Neptune and starts to come in to Aries. So the very beginning of the week, the first day or two, you're feeling this energy of not really ready to go, kind of questioning, well, what can I? Maybe I'll sit back on it and figure it out. No. Now, Mars is going to be in Aries before you know it. And not just that, you only have all planets going direct until May 2nd. So this is move it or lose it at the same time. However, when Pluto goes goes retrograde, Pluto's not like the rest of the planets. All of the planets turn inward and are evaluating when they go retrograde. Pluto is already That's part of that brain fog that they were explaining. Pluto is already the planet that inwardly evaluates. When it goes retrograde, it goes knock the door down, remove the freaking hinges, I'm coming in. He kicks in the doors and goes, where are we avoiding this? Let me make sure to drag this shit up out of you. So we are getting into some serious depth of what are we wanting to make sure when it goes back to direct next year and makes it back into this Aquarius, what are we making sure we're setting a firm foundation for? Where are those cracks in that? And our dreams, our goals, ambitions, our belief system, and ourself and what we can do. So this is really a big thing. And as that, and I'm explaining it that way because Neptune is not Pluto, but Neptune is the creation of the magic in the 12th house, which is connecting with the ideas of what you can't seem to change and breathe magic into. So it's our grief, sorrow, shame, blame, where we're holding on to the heavy. We can't hold on to the heavy right now. This is about rising above that. But we're going to be questioned about it. About, can we take that action? Can we stand in our boots even when we're a little unsure? You've got, while that is in Capricorn, looking at that outer world, the first 2 days of this week, you've got the moon in Capricorn, which is getting along great, though, with that Venus and that Sun, which are now in Taurus. Or going to be now in Taurus, coming into Taurus. Venus is still technically in Aries. The first day. But this is coming into self-identity, self-worth, self-value, illuminating our ability to believe and to change our beliefs, what we are capable of. So this is a good thing and bringing it into that outer world, but it's a bit of an oxymoron energy. Then you have it with a grand trine the next day, and that is the Ceres and the moon. Threefold and karma with the moon in the outer world. That's a full-on mirror of what you are giving the consciousness. And it is trining Jupiter with Uranus as well as Lilith. It is trining your manifestation, your self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, your ability to be in liberation energy or possession, whether what makes you feel good, the possessions you have that help you feel the best about yourself, or feeling that somebody else and something has the possession over you. But this is a trine, so this should be good energy. Even if it feels harsh, it's trying to put you in the right way because it's connecting with Lilith. It's connecting with your mundane task, what you breathe in and out every day, what your routine is, and how the routine can be tweaked to help us. You also have it having a T-square, though, with that Mercury and that North Node. That Lilith energy, that moon, and that Ceres, and that North Node with Mercury and Aries. So this is speaking about that inner communication in shadow with what is going on in our head, getting in our head too much, that brain fog. No, you have to shut that shit down. You have, as the moon comes into Aquarius, Tuesday and Wednesday, you're looking at it fighting with Pluto. The moon is with Pluto. I'm sorry. The moon is with Pluto, and it will be fighting with Venus. And when I read it, I was like, something's wrong there. The moon will be with Pluto in that death, decay, destruction, the outer world showing us what we want to see, and it's not getting along with Venus the sensitivities of your comfortability will be questioned, especially on the outer world. There's a lot of mirroring going on here, making us question where we stand and how. This is why I said detach from the outcome. Because if you're holding on to the outcome, the idea you're wanting, you're not going to get there the way you think you're going to get there. This is about allowing the consciousness and your belief to get us where we are. Not your belief, but your knowing. Your inner knowing to get you where you're wanting to go, but still taking action and moving forward. You have that Aquarius energy, which is that with the moon is going to be fighting the sun, illuminating your character. Might be showing parts of ourselves that we're not necessarily liking or thinking, or aspects of things, but it is getting along great with Chiron and Mercury. Again, it depends on if you're in the shadow energy. If you're in the shadow energy of that brain fog, in that inner word vomit, or if you're in the more positive light energy and pulling yourself out of these sticky situations, not allowing yourself to get in them in the first place. It is getting along great with the South Node. The South Node is everything you're good at, but it doesn't serve you anymore. And it's in Libra. It's in the scales, the judgment, the evaluation of the outer world and your relationship with it. So this has a lot to do with how we choose to think and taking control of our thinking, redirecting it, being more open-minded. And then the moon's going into Pisces, where it's going to be questioning Jupiter and Uranus on Friday. The week can feel heavy if you are playing three-dimensional. I've said a million times, that's why I go into my cartoon land and I come back to reality when it's time to, I gotta do the shit I gotta do. It's not that I'm running from things, it's I'm keeping myself in a more euphoric energy as much as I can while I still evaluate the truth. Being hollow, allowing the truth to flow. And then move with it as needed. But that Pisces energy is getting along great with Venus. Stepping into your sensitivity. But Venus will be in Taurus now. So it can work for you if you're not letting your sensitivity rule you in bad ways. This is very much a week of free will. And what will you bring to it? You have Jupiter all week. Jupiter and Uranus all week, which are getting along great with Saturn. Meaning, if you can change your belief system, restructure your belief system, you can find healing, you can redirect it, you can be in that positive energy, and you can start manifesting it. It will become easier to manifest. Venus is moving into Taurus. But what are you manifesting? Then you have the sun, which is getting along great with Saturn, illuminating the truth. But what will you do with the truth as you learn it? You have Venus, not Venus, you have Lilith, which is getting along great with Jupiter and Uranus. Again, this is changing different aspects of our daily routine, tweaking them. People, places, things, it's all an energy diet. What energy are you consuming? As to how well you are contributing back to the consciousness, as well as what you want to create. The challenges this week is that Mercury, that North Node, and that Chiron, as they're coming together. The wounded healer, North Node trying to teach you where the wounded healer keeps getting stuck on the same shit. Mercury getting caught in that shadow, heavier energy in the head, and going directly over to where we are in the relationships and what we are doing in these relationships with the outer world, with what's outside of us. Where and what are we holding responsibility for? And one of the biggest problems with Libra energy is, I say it all the time, one of the problems with Libra energy is wanting to create harmony in areas where harmony is not meant to be. Sometimes it has to get a little crappy so that a change happens. But the crappy is not really the bad thing. The change happening is the good thing. And that's where the South Node is. This is getting out of your comfort zone with the outer world so that you can have a better relationship with that outer world. Then you have Lilith and Saturn, as well as Lilith and Neptune, which are not getting along all week. Something about our energy diets, our people, places, things, our routine. What energy are we consuming? And where do we need to manipulate and shift it? Like I said, a little bit of an oxymoron week, but you are setting up where we're redirecting, for one, right up until those next eclipses, as well as when that Pluto goes back into Capricorn, looking at the old slave idea. This is the time to make sure we're really harnessing and creating a good foundation so we don't fall through those cracks. I love you guys. Bye.